Hello, my name is Jeff Sherfield. I'm the owner of Fescue Farm Angus. It's a family operation. Been showing cattle for probably 25 years. Something our family's enjoyed doing. Also a Purdue graduate. I'm an ag teacher at Owen Valley High School. Started out at Bar Reef several years ago. One of the things we do on our farm is artificial insemination. So I wanted to show, basically for my agriculture classes, for anybody that's interested out there, what equipment I use for the artificial insemination process. And it could be different for each individual farm. Each cattle producer kind of does their own thing, but I'll go through the stuff that I have. Some of it's pretty common with any other producer. The first thing behind me is the artificial insemination tank, and this contains liquid nitrogen. And it can hold about 600 straws of semen, and obviously I don't need that with a cow herd of 25 to 30 cows. But that liquid nitrogen is filled up by a ABS, and they come around and fill the tank up with liquid nitrogen. It's a temperature of about 310 degrees below zero, so it's very important that the storage of that semen be kept at that temperature so it will keep. My AI kit, you can buy the kits that are made specifically for AI. I just went out at the local hardware store, bought this particular box, and I've had it around probably for 15 years or more. It's what I keep all my AI supplies in. So I'm going to open this up and I'm going to show some of the things that I keep in my AI equipment box. One of the things I have is a measuring stick, and that's what's used to check the level of the anhydrous in that semen tank, which is really important because I have let a tank go dry before. It cost me several thousands of dollars. One of the other things you'll need is a straw cutter, and this simply is a device that's going to be used to cut the straw semen open so you're ready to put it in the cow. Often, some people like to use scissors. The scissors come with an AI kit when you buy it, but I don't like the scissors. This has a razor blade. Scissors have a tendency to smash that in before it cuts it, so I don't like to use the scissors at all. The other thing that I have in my AI kit is a thermometer that will glow as the right temperature is reached in that semen, and it'll tell you right on here that it wants to be 94 to 98 degrees. That's the thaw temperature to thaw that semen out properly. When we get later on to a second part of this, or a third part, I'll show you actually the insemination process and how I get the semen ready. Also keep bottles of just regular drinking water. Take it right out of the faucet so I can save these containers, because I'm going to mix hot and cold water together to thaw that semen out. Now there are people that have some devices that cost $140. You plug into an electrical outlet, it will take that semen to the right temperature. I don't like to use those just because it's $140 and I can get by with a $10 item, which I'll show you in just a second. Also, I have several containers of lube. It can't just be any kind of lubricant. It has to be lubricant that's not going to affect that semen in any way. So I buy this by the gallon jug, and then I fill up these small containers to do that, so it's kind of handy. To get the semen out of the semen tank, normally I'll use my fingers. I've done it enough where I can do that, but occasionally there's some that's packed in kind of tight, and they make these white tweezers, and they have notches in them that's specifically designed to pull that semen out of those canes to do that. So that's a safe way to do it as well without burning your fingertips. These are the AI guns, as I call them. Look similar to a syringe, and these will pull out, and this is what's going to push that semen into the cow. These are going to be covered by something called a sheath, which is just a plastic piece, because you're not wanting to take anything from the outside into that cow. So I have two different styles of these that I use, and there's a couple others. It's just what your own preference is for those. This is what a plastic sheath looks like that covers this insemination rod. Okay, and this again covers this. They come in a package, I don't know, I think maybe 50 or so, and I'll show you what the package looks like in a second. Now, before I take the semen out, this is what I'm going to use to thaw the semen. So this is about a $10 thermos with a thermometer, and I just simply drilled the hole in the cap and pushed this thermometer down inside there. And I will mix the hot and cold water inside here until it's my right temperature. So when I go to my barn, I fill this up with hot water, and I've done it enough that it's usually about just a little bit over half of hot water Then I add the cold water, and I'm usually about at 95 to 96 degrees. So again, you can buy thaw units that operate on a battery, operate on 110, but they cost money. These are relatively inexpensive. Some other things that's kind of important. First of all, you got to know if that cow is in estrus or in heat, as many would call it. So I use the estrus alert patches. I tell you, they're like the lottery scratch-off ticket. They're stuck on the back of the cow by the tail head, and as she is mounted during the night or during the day, this gray portion will rub off and it will be a bright pink. These come in other different colors, I think orange and yellow. It's just, it doesn't matter to me. They tell me the same thing, so I just take whatever my AI supplier has. The other thing that I always keep in my AI kit is a roll of paper towel, because you're going to have to make sure that straw semen is wiped off. You're also going to have to wipe the back end of that cow off, because you don't want to be carrying any manure into that reproductive tract when you're breeding her. The sheaths come again in a package, and I use this little container to keep the sheaths in, and they come in a package, so I keep those enclosed, and then I just pull out the sheath as I need those. The other important aspect of a piece of equipment that you need for AI is these arm length gloves. I believe these are 36-inch gloves, specifically designed for artificial insemination. The lubricant will go on these, because this goes into the rectum of the cow. They come in a box of 100, and again, relatively inexpensive to buy. So I have a box of those in here, and to give you some idea, this is what the box looks like in 100. So this will last me a year or two. One other piece of equipment that I'll show you, I used to use these a lot. I haven't the last several years, but these are called seeders. And basically they're coated with a hormone that causes that cow to basically kind of stop her estrus cycle. You leave this in for 7 days inside the cow, and you simply pull it out, give them a shot of lute, and they're going to be in usually within 3 days. And the way this device works, these just squeeze in, okay, and you'll go inside the vulva of the cow, and as you push this out, that opens up. It stays there for that amount of time. You'll pull it out, and you're ready for breeding. These run just a little over $100 per package of these, and I don't know, there's 10 or 12 in a package. Again, I just breed off of Lutalice natural heats anymore. Saves a trip through the chute when you're using those. So that's what's in my AI kit. Others will have some other things and different types of equipment as far as the box, but those are the basics of what we're going to use for artificial insemination here at Fescue Farms Angus.